Hey, crypto family. So it looks like the drama with Luna and UST is still ongoing, and Luna has continued to drop down to $12.50 and showing no signs of slowing down. I actually found a couple more articles today. I'm going to go over those and expand on a couple more theories that have been floating around and how some big players made a lot of money from this drop. So, one of the first things I want to say is, again, if you are trading right now, please keep in mind that it's a tough time for anyone right now, and I know a lot of people have lost a lot of money on this. If you go to my Twitter, I actually posted a thread here. It's at the CryptoData, and basically I posted a lot of good resources to help out. Basically things that you can do if you're, maybe thinking about harming yourself or others, or you just want to get your mind off things, fitness, music, reading, cleaning, a lot of different things you can do to help take your mind off the current market. So if you want, I'll share this pin in the comments and description as well. For anyone that wants to read this thread, definitely a good thread to help out. But one of the first things I want to talk about for Luna and UST is keep in mind, one, that there was Coinbase earnings that came out recently, and again, they were not favorable as predicted, and Coinbase is down to $73 for their coin. Now, again, that was a small catalyst, continued drops. But if you look at CoinGecko, you can see a lot of coins are actually still relatively holding well on the 24-hour chart, okay? It's only when you actually sort by 24-hour largest losers that you see Luna is down 48% over the past 24 hours. And then, bonded Luna, of course, the same. Now, UST has actually been holding up relatively well. It's up to 82 cents. I say up to 82 because it did drop down to 70 cents again today, but has since gained as well. Now, I never thought I'd be doing TA on a stable coin, but here we are, right? So basically one of the reasons why UST is staying basically bouncing back as compared to Luna, which has been constantly dropping, is because people are selling Luna to basically support the peg. So again, a lot of the people over there at Terra, they're selling Luna to get USDT, and then they're buying UST. They keep doing this until Luna eventually will either go to zero or someone else is going to step in and try to basically bring Luna back from the dead, but it's not looking good right now. So again, with this TA, I would not catch a falling knife personally. These are some levels on the daily chart at 10.53, 8.59, and $4.94 if you were thinking of buying some. But again, be very wary about this. I'm not touching Luna right now. Definitely being wary of that. But again, let's talk about some articles that I found today and ones that may shed some light on the big players that have been using Luna and UST's decline to their advantage. So one big thing I've seen around the Twitter space today is by @OnChainWizard. Now, this guy posted a great thread that talks about one person who made over $800 million attacking UST. Now, let's scroll down and actually talk about some specifics. So basically, I'm going to try to summarize it. Not going to try to make this too long here, but basically it says the story starts in late March when Luna Foundation Guard, LFG, started buying Bitcoin to help back UST. As you know, Bitcoin they're using as collateral, right? It's kind of like almost like a suicide vest of sorts because they're basically saying, hey, if Bitcoin fails, then, or if Luna fails, then Bitcoin's going to fail, UST fails, etc. They're trying to do that, which isn't, it seemed like a smart idea at the time, but again, if anything's volatile and declines, it's bringing everything down with it. So basically, they started accumulating Bitcoin, and they had a 1 billion position in BTC. Now, the next big thing here in this plan, their second leg comes in the form of 4-pool Frax announcement for UST on April 1st. So 4-pool is basically using a lot of these different stable coins here, and basically all the emissions are going to the 4-pool and for helping for basically with the curve wars and all of that. So Frax was getting involved in that, and then it says the attacker eventually borrowed 100,000 Bitcoin, which is about $4.2 billion, an average price of $42,000. And so they had their $4.2 billion short position ready. Now, over the same time, the attackers built a $1 billion OTC position in UST, which is over the counter. Basically, it's not through exchanges. It's kind of in the background. It says now the stage is set to create a run on the bank and get paid on their shorts. So here's a big thing that where Terra actually faulted. So it says in anticipation of the 4-pool, LFG initially removes $150 million of liquidity from the 3-pool liquidity. So it's basically $150 million less liquidity that UST has. Okay, so the attackers saw this and they used $350 million of their UST to drain the curve liquidity. and then LFG pulls another 100 million of liquidity. So they basically drain the UST curve liquidity, okay? Now from there, what happens is when we saw that depeg to 97.2 cents. Now LFG begins selling their Bitcoin to defend the peg, because remember, one supports the other, right? So they're selling Bitcoin to prop up the peg of UST, which causes downward pressure on BTC, while the run on UST was just getting started. Remember, these attackers still have 650 million UST worth. It says, with the curve liquidity drained, now the attacker used the remaining 1 billion OTC UST position, so 650 million, to start offloading on Binance. As withdrawals from Anchor turned from concerns into panic, this caused a real depeg as people fled for the exits. And there you have it, the big drop to 60 cents that we had. Now scrolling down here, it says, so LFG is selling BTC to restore the peg while attackers selling UST on Binance. Eventually the chain gets congested and the SEC suspends withdrawals UST, fueling the bank run panic. And then again, UST depegs to 60 cents at the bottom while BTC bleeds out. Now, again, this was a strategy a lot of people used because basically UST went to 60 cents, but a lot of exchanges weren't allowing trades below 70 cents. So that's why in UST, you saw, a lot of the bottoms here were near this 70 cent level. You see a couple bounces that we had here. So could be a good strategy, again, if you think that UST is going to regain its peg, to keep buying on those dips below 70 cents. And then scrolling down, it says the crypto community panics, wondering how much Bitcoin will be sold to keep the peg. There are liquidations across the board, and Luna pukes because of its redemption mechanism. The attacker very well could have shorted Luna. And then it basically talks about how much did the attacker make? Well, through covering to buy back, and then basically the loss on selling their Bitcoin for a loss. They still made roughly $815 million, which is insane. Okay, now was this legal? Technically, yes, right? They didn't do anything illegal. They just played the game. They played the Ponzi, and unfortunately, a lot of people lost money because of this. So that's something I want you all to realize is anytime they have, like volatile assets like Bitcoin that are basically backing the peg of a stable coin, it's extremely risky for scenarios like this. There's still Wall Street people playing in crypto now. This is their new playground. So a lot of times you can expect a lot of these, games to be played. So that's something I want to make sure people are aware of. Now, a lot of people are wondering, who is this attacker or attackers, right? Is there multiple people here? So basically scrolling down, some people are thinking it's Citadel or Genesis. Basically, they're a company that provides ability to borrow that large amount of Bitcoin. Now, again, there's only a certain amount of entities that have that capital to make that large short position. But again, right now people are speculating that it could be Citadel. So that's one thing that's been going around. Now, I want to cover a couple things real quick, and I'll go over Do Kwon, the CEO of Terra's post that he had today as well. So here's a post by DGen Spartan. So it was only about an hour ago. Basically said it'll be grossed out if Celsius Network is part of this bailout. And what he's talking about is there's a post 9 hours ago by Larry Cermak, and he says the details I've heard but might not be final. Jump, Celsius, and Jane Saint committed already. Alameda not yet. Targeting $1 to $1.5 billion raise. 50% discount to Luna Spot with 1 year lock plus monthly linear vest over 1 year. Total of $700 million in commitments as of this morning. Okay, so basically people are thinking that there's going to be a big bailout. Now he says one thing to keep in mind is that this deal is not closed yet and is still in active negotiations. The terms now might be different, and obviously some parties could still decommit. Would expect the announcement from LFG in the next 2 days, and impressive interest is this high. So again, you have some people here that are saying, they're raising potentially $1 to $1.5 billion raised for Terra and Luna. So that's one thing to keep in mind for bullish case. I'm thinking, if we get this announcement, UST could pump right on that announcement. But again, I'm not playing either of these right now. I did play UST yesterday. We got it in our Discord about 76 cents, rode it all the way to 95. If you're not in the Discord, if you want to join it, it's in the description and pinned in the comments as well. Free to join. But we had a good rise with that. But I want to definitely emphasize, be careful, please, with trading Luna and UST right now. Basically, as I was saying, DGen Spartan says he's keen to know if Celsius was exposing non-UST stables to UST risks. What happens when UST Luna fails, if those risks are siloed to those coin depositors only, or if it's a risk to all depositors. Now, basically what he's saying is the Celsius network, where you can buy, swap, earn, borrow, and send crypto all in one app. Basically, if other people's funds are going to be at risk if UST and Luna fails, because they may be heavily invested. That's why they're trying to raise all this all these funds for this raise. So that's something to think about. Again, always be careful when you're in any of these companies or protocols that are tying all their investments into one asset or backing it all by one asset. Okay, could be doomed to fail there. Now, Do Kwon was posting today. So as of 12 hours ago, he said, didn't mean to be so quiet. Need razor focus to deliver. Thanks everyone for the support. Close to announcing a recovery plan for UST. Hang tight. And he says, getting close. Stay strong, lunatics. So again, he's making it sound like there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes and that he's going to regain peg on UST and Luna's going to bounce back. Again, with everything going on right now, I don't know if I would believe him necessarily. Again, his reputation is on the line, and any billionaires, people who know billionaires know their reputation is very important to them. So we'll have to see what happens with this. But again, I'm staying away from Luna and UST right now. It's already down to 1169. So again, it's tanking right now. You can try to catch this knife or DCAN. I'm personally waiting for that. But yeah, I just wanted to update y'all on what's been going on here and kind of this big crypto stuff that was going on again with Coinbase earnings, the decline, and then the whole Luna UST drama is still ongoing and waiting to see what happens with that. But hopefully this video helped. I know it's kind of long, but I was trying to explain everything as clearly as I could. If y'all found this video helpful, please give it a like. Please comment if you have any questions. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, see ya.